Ah, I've been trying to find something and I just can't find it anywhere. I don't know what to do. I do not know what to do. But we gotta start. We gotta do things. How long until this? 4 hours. Okay. I'm probably not gonna be awake for that then. Okay. Oh, hold on. Alright, I'm back. And yes, I will hydrate. Hold on. Okay, how much time do I have? 17 days. This is usually what the thing goes off of, so... Oh. Okay. But yeah, anyway. Um... Yep. Let's see. Yeah, we just gotta continue. Do as much as we can. Here we go. Other than missing are in the refitting room, checking out the equipment list for the upcoming mission. And take the chance to finalize the personnel coming on this mission. Begin by selecting 404, a squad possessing extensive combat experience in red zones to accompany me. Because our special equipment is in limited supply, I can only bring one more squad along. Which leaves me feeling somewhat conflicted. Both Monsoon Squad and Zuko Squad have assisted me on missions involving Petadale bases before. Their performance has been quite reassuring. Besides them, the Doodles who just joined the Elmo may still be in their adjustment periods, but they each have their own strengths and specialties. After what just happened with Sextons, I realized that I really do need to assign a strong, well-coordinated team specifically to keep an eye on her. Once more, we just exposed the location in front of those mercs. I must leave enough forces on the Elmo for its own defense. I also have Team Groza. If I pull Team Groza away from the Elmo, I need to get another team to look after Helena and Melanie. Commander, want to come too? Melanie has been peeking at me from every corner of the equipment room, ever since I announced the trip into the red zone. Right now, she's on her tiptoes, peering at the mission roster. You want to come? Where exactly do you want to go? I want to go with you and the others into the red zone for the investigation. There must be plenty of Petadale's traps over there. I can protect you, Commander. Oh, you small creature. Okay, how exactly does Melanie plan to protect me? Do you have a box like Helena's? Melanie shakes her head. Do you have a way to jam radar so that the enemy can't spot us? Melanie shakes her head. Then I'll find a way somehow. Right, I can still help. For example, I can still disguise myself as one of the Helenas and infiltrate Pedeo's base, like what I did last time. That way we have a way to go straight in and grab lots of internal Pedeo's data. If things go well, Commander, you wouldn't need to use much firepower to destroy their base this time. Last time we were discovered by a Niter really quickly. They won't be caught off guard this time. Besides, how do you know that they definitely have Helenas over there? I only asked that offhandedly, but something clicks when I notice Melanie suddenly shifting her gaze away from me. Has Melanie been hiding something else she knows from me? Right. The way she suddenly insisted on coming along with us raises my suspicions as well. Could it be... Melanie, about what happened earlier, is there something you haven't told me? How did you know that? Realizing her slip of the tongue, Melanie hurriedly puts her hands over her mouth. I knew it. Melanie? Did you sense something about the Helenas again? Melanie turns away, showing me her back. I promised that girl that I wouldn't tell anyone about it. If that's how she puts it, Melanie definitely did sense the presence of another Helena. And judging by what we know so far, that Helena is somewhere inside of Pedeo's base in the depths of the red zone. Looking back at how Helena once sensed Melanie, if we really do want to get to the bottom of this, bringing Melanie along will make things much easier. But should I really bring Melanie to the red zone just for this? This is way too dangerous. It adds so much unpredictability to our investigation. Plus, I also have to think about whether or not to make this new discovery a secondary objective of the mission. Looks like Melanie still hasn't told me everything. I should get things sorted out with her first. Melanie, why don't we try talking this through together? Tell me everything you know. If this is important, I'll bring you along to rescue that Helena. Really? Yep, I won't go back on my word. Melanie turns to face me after some hesitation. To be honest, I've been intermittently hearing that girl's voice ever since you all came back from Lviv. Is it like how you were able to sense our Helena? Yeah. That voice is different in that it's always been really faint and weak. I can only hear her at certain particular moments. Particular moments? Yes. She seemed to be in great pain every time I managed to sense her. Feels like something is draining her life dry. Abnormal pulses, the connection between third-gen dolls and Boojums, and yet another Helena. I have no concrete proof yet, but instinct tells me that what Melanie is describing appears to be tied to the events that Alva and the others have been investigating. Melanie, can you tell me what the two of you discussed? We didn't actually manage to talk much, but she seems to know a great deal about what's happening on the outside. Especially things about you, Commander. She knows me? She said that a certain individual nearby who posed the threat of fate was the reason why she could establish a connection with me. She also brought up the Lviv incident. What did she say? She asked me what became of the people in Lviv after Nirvana opened. This is the first time anyone has brought up the opening of Nirvana since the Lviv incident. I assumed that what happened might have been a hallucination of mine, but now I'm suddenly being told that someone else had witnessed it. That someone is another Helena, no less. This Helena must be someone important. I have to find a way to track her down no matter what. The list of things to investigate grows yet again. Commander... Melanie tilts her chin up slightly, looking at me with pleading eyes. Told you everything I know. Please could you take me with you? What Millie said makes logical sense, and it doesn't sound like she's making things up to get her way. Besides, the matter of Nirvana is not something she could have thought up with just under imagination. If what she said is close to the truth, then it is extremely important that we investigate this other Helena. At the very least, it must be listed as one of our main objectives. Melanie's presence does significantly increase the chance of success. Otherwise, we'd be plunging headfirst into the red zone with our radar disabled, and it would probably take too long to even get a sense of what's happening in there. Safety is indeed a major concern. While Melanie has no need to fret with regards to radiation as an immune individual, we'll have to allocate personnel to protect her should combat happen. At the very least, we must direct her from danger before it is too late. Still, I wish to only probe the locale for now, so avoiding direct combat is also part of the plan. With that in mind, I'll need to assign an extra squad to ensure Melanie's safety. Alva and the others brought plenty of special equipment that should come in handy. It should help make the issue of our low manpower less of a main pain point. Alright, I think I understand the gist of what you mean. Now that they get it over, I summon Groza to me alone. Chris, aside from 404, I also want you to bring Team Groza along on this mission. Aside from providing combat support, your priority would be keep Melanie safe. You're bringing Melanie along? Yep, Melanie has uncovered some new leads that could help with our search. Thank you, Commander. But let's be clear about this beforehand. You must stay close to Groza and the others, and you are absolutely not allowed to run off on your own. I'll be on my best behavior. Then and the others shall do our best to protect Melanie. As for Nemesis, should we make separate arrangements for her? No need, just run the team as you usually do. Be it Nemesis, you, or the others in Team Groza, you've all been my companions in the Elmo for the longest. I can't just stop trusting you guys over some unexpected accidents. Commander. Besides, Nemesis does have a number of mysteries surrounding her. I have a feeling that this mission could help us solve them. Understood. Leave the rest of the arrangements to me. This time I won't let you down. At the roster set, Voy Mestina goes to the helicopter to bring down equipment for the mission. While taking stock of our equipment inventory, I noticed that aside from basic protective gear, we also have plenty of special equipment that would be hard to find, even on the black market. Commander, we may face extreme collapse radiation levels once we enter the red zone. Please wear the protective suit well and equip the radiation isolation device. Ella picks out a protective suit from the equipment pile and hands it to me to try on. Its surface gleams with a strange sheen as if it was sprayed with some kind of protective coating. And put on the protective suit and try moving around. Oh, it's suffocating. Oh, tight. It's kind of hard to breathe. Alpha notices my discomfort. She scrambles to explain. Sorry, Commander says this is an impromptu mission. We didn't have time to custom order one. So we'll have to ask you to bear with Kevin's gear for now. It's okay. I'm fine. Ava walks over to loosen some of the straps around my torso and joints. Her shimmering gaze meets mine. She produces a somewhat flustered laugh. Is that better? Much better. Ava carefully checks the suit's airtight seal, then hands me a brand new set of comms equipment. Also, these are shielded communicators. I'll be distributing them to mission personnel in a short while. Resonant radiation will interfere with comm signals. These devices will ensure that we're able to maintain in contact with each other while we're inside. We also have weapon cases loaded with heavy weapons and their ammunition. I'll distribute some of these to each squad before we depart. Still, these weapons are dangerous, so they need to be used with care. And Eva pauses, then continues with feigned casualness. To be honest, we only managed to make it here this easily thanks to Miss Kalina pulling a few strings for us. Really? So she's also been assisting you guys. Seems she's finally found something she wants to do. Indeed. Although she's currently dealing with a conundrum, she found a way to contact and help us as much as she could. This is why I think you shouldn't worry about her too much. Someone as smart as Miss Kalina will always find a way to take care of herself. Miss Kalina told me about a certain something, by the way. I think you might want to know. What did she say? She said that she came across a doll who looked very much like Groza. A doll resembling Groza? It's probably a doll using a similar frame model. That is one possibility. However, Miss Kalina specifically brought it up because that doll's combat capabilities are extremely strong. It's very likely a 3rd-gen doll. So it looks like a 3rd-gen version of Groza? Got it. I'll keep that in mind. Commander, all personnel participating in this mission have been equipped and the relevant gear has been distributed to the squad leaders. It is time for us to head out. I really hope I didn't full on lose those things because they were expensive and they were a gift. I have no idea where they could be. Okay. Dang, it doesn't reach. We can do that, and I think the expansion key will hit the other two. Yeah, there we go. Continue. Sky darkens as the Elmo approaches the red zone. Our radar fails entirely 2 hours into the red zone. To prevent intense radiation from damaging the Elmo's electronic equipment, decided to lead the mission team on foot into the depths of the red zone while Mailing pulls the Elmo back to the edge, awaiting our contact. The landscape is a barren waste with only sparse remnants of tree trunks and dry grass strewn about. Here, a deathly brew wreaked its ghastly vapors upon this plain, rendering unto all life who unwittingly drank an inglorious end. Thy name was collapse, and life fell in twain. As with death, we see naught but silence. 3 hours later, we finally cross the indistinct boundary zone and are greeted by the red zone's iconic, ominous scenery, the very culprit that drained all life from this place. Whoa. A vast sea of collapsed epiphyllum, known as Hell's Paradise. At some point, our signals completely vanished from the radar. Said from internal squad comms, our surroundings are as quiet as an empty void. Nothing here that can prove our existence aside from our own physical sensations. Beneath our feet, the translucent radiation dust-stained petals shimmer with a faint glow akin to cooling embers. I smell a metallic ionizing odor spreading through the air around me, even through my protective suit. Care to watch your step. Try to avoid those flowers as we move forward. Doris just took a reading. The radiation near the flowers is more than a dozen times higher than the surrounding area. The epiphyllums are currently in their absorption phase. Let's hurry through. It just refers to as one of the defining traits of the collapsed epiphyllum. They interact with collapsed radiation in the environment, absorbing it under certain conditions, releasing it in others. The Project Eden I intervened in back in Lviv hoped to use such principles for energy generation. That technology has since become a secret known only to me. During the collapsed epiphyllum's absorption phase, the collapsed radiation levels in the vicinity drop, but that is only temporary. The inexperienced would lower their guard upon seeing the seemingly safe levels on their instruments, but this is nothing more than a deception, a calm before the storm. Once the release phase arrives, the radiation levels surge, rendering most protective equipment in a grand cascade. Rendering most protective equipment in a grand cascade. Any creature unable to take shelter in time would be devoured by the collapsed radiation in mere moments, plunging them into an abyss of no return. The absorption phase means that the ambient radiation levels are relatively low at the moment, but even so, an ordinary person cannot survive here for long without protection. Yet despite the harshness of the environment, it is also strangely unsettling quiet. No one tried to stop us on the way here. We haven't even seen a single tiny elid critter scurry by either. We're almost at the coordinates. Good. All units enter alert level 1. Dolls raise their weapons one after another, lowering their stances and slowing their pace alongside mine. They're passing through a thick mist of radiation particles. What unfolds before us is a sight I never imagined I'd see deep inside the red zone. An intact, towering, magnificent yet antique palace. The mist, the banner of the heavens. Nemesis, you've been here before? Beautiful vista of bygone days gathered into echoes among clouds. Looks like this place has stirred some of Nemesis' memories. I studied the exterior of the old castle carefully, but I find no clear signs of anything unordinary. Even though it clearly shouldn't be here. An ancient structure of a bygone era, spires that adorned its towers have long since crumbled, leaving jagged hollows that spear the sky. The narrow arched windows are but hollowed eye sockets, some yet filled with remnants of their stained glass sclera that faintly glimmered with the dusk's fair embrace. The heavy main doors lie open, no longer withholding their bounty from the world beyond. The iron that clad its hinges has rusted so thoroughly that it has painted the wood with haphazard strokes of oxidated crimson. The family crest carved above the gate was far too weathered to make out any fine details. All that remained was the rough outline of the shield that made its center. Truthfully, I feel uncertainty boil from within my core. Was this a mere mirage that has been invoked by the collapse that encompasses us all at this very moment? Nothing but an irradiated midsummer night's dream? This is the place. I can feel it. Tekro's presence. We're getting closer and closer. Melanie raises her hand high, pointing in the direction of the castle. The coordinates on the offline map also point right here. Then let's get closer. With the dolls raising their weapons at the vanguard, we cautiously approach the massive building before us. Through the shattered panes of technicolor glass, I catch faint glimpses of refined antique furnishings inside. Despite having been subject to the cruel elements, it remains a microcosm of a time centuries past. Is this castle also a Petiteo space? No, wait, something feels off. Radiation interference is too strong here. We still can't pick up any signals nearby. Equipment isn't picking up any active heat sources here, but something could still be hiding in the lower levels. Not picking up any noise or signal here either. We have the same conclusion. We can only gather info on what's on the surface for now. Melanie, are you sensing anything? I haven't sensed any other presences aside from that girl's distress signal. Indeed, we haven't picked up any clear signs of danger, and that Helena does actually seem to be here. Kukai, take 404 to the perimeter and keep watch for any movement. Secure a retreat route. Report immediately if you spot anything suspicious. Groza, Alva, let's try going in to take a look. If you're going in, then at least let me... It's alright, don't worry. From the looks of it, it's just an abandoned building. If we notice anything off, we'll tuck our tails between our legs and run for the hills. Besides, Melanie says that the girl is in there. We have to at least go in and try to investigate. Fine. Now keep watch outside. Be careful in there, everyone. We will. Ava, Groza, let's go. Once we approach the rust-spotted door, Groza takes the lead, becoming the first to step through the doors of the castle. Silence. Absolute silence. The alarms that I had subconsciously expected do not blare, leaving a part of me feeling rather unaided. Our arrival is met only by the ominous silence that shrouds the heart of the red zone. We push the doors open and take a step inside the castle. Whoa. The interior is not as dilapidated as I had assumed. Damp stone steps with brick walls on both sides lead up to the great hall. The faintly warm light of dusk filters through the multicolored glass windows, casting columns of varied hues across the great structure. In the great hall, a table is surrounded by several velvet chairs, all arranged loosely. 2 leather armchairs appear to have warped from long-term use. The leather is polished to a shine, suggesting that someone once lived here for a long period of time. I think G would like the architecture of this place. And the design. The castle appears to have been used after the war, for a long time too. Maybe this area became a red zone recently. It'd be great if we could find some records about it. Melanie, are you sure this is the place? I am. I still can't pinpoint the exact location, but... Now look around. Searching this whole castle will take too long. Let's try to wrap this up ASAP. We can't linger here too long. Alva, you guys search the upper floors up the staircase. Groza will go through the corridor over here and search some rooms in the back. Understood. As they're splitting off from Alva and the others, Team Groza and I move down the corridor and into the back of the castle. This area appears to be made up of several bedrooms. After confirming that there are no sounds inside, I pull on the brass handle of the room nearest to me. Wow. This is peculiar, because you got this, but then you have clear signs of tech here. With wires and cables on the ground. The room is decorated similarly to a reception hall, but the moment I push the door open, the scent of dust and faint mildew hits my nose, stark contrast to the candlelit air of the great hall. The room isn't very spacious, its furnishing simple. Half the space has been taken up by a bed, several stacks of documents lie on the desk, their tabs already yellowed. A forgotten corner of this grandiose castle, it seems. The crown for any useful documents left here. With Grolic and Nemesis guarding the door, the rest of us begin searching through the corners of the room. Old-fashioned antique feel coats the room. Electronic devices are rare, with the bookshelf leaning against the wall. It's neatly lined with thick volumes, mostly classical texts and novels from a bygone era. I leaf through them without much thought. Something suddenly slips out from one of the books. What's this? Pick up the slip of paper and find what seems to be some reading notes. The elegant script has already blurred somewhat, but I can still tell that a woman probably wrote it. I read through it carefully, but find nothing noteworthy. The signature reads LFN. Seems to be the owner of this book. I pocket the note and prepare to continue searching when I hear Kofner from the other side of the room. I found something interesting under the bed. Move over and see Kofner holding up a battered terminal with her hand. Can it be turned on? Let me try. Good try pressing the power button, but the screen flickers on for only an instant before going dark again. Ran out of battery. Could try connecting it to me for a bit, though. Wait, don't do that yet. Hold on to it for now. We'll bring it back for Dandelion to sift through. Cody nods and slips the terminal into her pack. Can we seem to have found everything worth looking at in this room? Let's make our exit. I bring Melanie along and head back into the corner hosting Groza. Ella's voice comes through the comms as we're about to search the next room. We're taking fire on the 3rd floor. Enemy is... Oh. Nemesis. Paul. Rebirth. The heart wanders far. Sisters. Can I look at those dolls? What? I don't know when they arrived, but a number of dolls have appeared at the far end of the corridor. Covered in a cloud of dust illuminated by the faint light, I finally make out what they look like. Same dark skin, the same dyed ash gray hair, same violet pupils, and the same calm, sharp eyes that belong only to a marksman. This is concerning. They are Nemesis. New music. New location. Oh, this place is huge. Are those like... Look at those guns. They're bullpups, and they've got a similar profile to a Groza, but they're not. Clearly. Are they Nemesises too? It doesn't matter. Right now they're our enemies. Eliminate all dolls. Order received. I can actually understand what they're saying. This isn't a time to be worrying about that sort of thing. How are you, Nemesis? Can you still fight? Candlelight's rolling. She said yes. Alright, in any event, let's think of a way to get out of here first. Oh dang, they're all marked as like elites. Can't look at anything specific on them. Phantom protection, consciousness contamination, and neural echo. They really look like Grozas, except, hold on. The mags aren't as curved. It's hard to tell. Also, the mags in the plate carrier are like... maybe it's easier to see on this one. Ah, well. I saw some sort of shoot effect happen there for a second. How come I can't? Hold on. Sometimes I can move the camera, other times I can't. I don't understand why. Ah, whatever. Just get them all. Sweet Commander. With temporarily fending off the dolls who look nearly identical to Nemesis, we found the main entrance that we entered from to be shut. Thus our only option is to take the stairs deeper into the castle, in search of another way out. Remaining enemies keep chasing us without end. The fire catches up to us so that Team Groza can cover Melanie and I as we fall back to a safer position behind the lines. Suddenly Krullik turn around a corner. To confirm that the area overhead is safe, they push open a narrow oak door beside them. Oh no, it's a dead end. Endless stairs revolving. Reach the first shadow. I mean, there's a way out from here. Greg stares at Nemesis skeptically. Nemesis gives her an affirmative nod in return. Greg begins running her hands along the wall opposite the room before tapping out a rhythm on one of the bricks. There it is. Come here, there's a hidden path here. Did we go in? Look at Nemesis, her gaze wavers not. Let's go in and take a look. There's a Krullik carefully but swiftly swing open the hidden door built into the brick wall. It's totally dark inside. They all switch on the lights on their head equipment, allowing me to finally take in the layout of this room by their dim glows. Suddenly get this feeling that this layout feels kind of familiar, but I can't remember where I've seen it before. The core of the room we're in is quite different from anything we've seen so far, or rather, this place can't even be called a room. It's more like a cold, sterile laboratory. A massive culture tank stands in the middle of the room. Countless neatly arranged pipes run along the ceiling and floor, stretching into the darkness beyond. This is the place. I can sense her presence. Man, let's go with my hand, rushing over to the culture tank's edge to inspect it closely. Follow Melanie over, only to find the tank empty. Nothing is left besides the dry residue of culture fluid. Are we too late? Lab. I hate this. No way. No. Don't worry, Melanie. We're all here with you. No one's going to hurt you. To help reassure Melanie, I lift her into my arms while doing my best to gather as much information in the darkness as I can. After carefully examining the room, I can confirm that this place is very similar to where we rescued Melanie. The same lab equipment, the same facility layout, even the same plant-style culture tanks. Outside the culture tank, a metal nameplate reflects a faint glow. H35. So this is her designation. But she really was supposed to be right here. Why is she gone? Search the area, but find no other rooms. Right then, the sound of disordered foot. Right then. Am I winning? Good question. But hello, Pega. Right then, the sound of disordered footsteps arrives near the door. The dolls we drove back earlier have caught up to us once more. When I found the secret passage Nemesis mentioned, it leads outside the castle. Should we retreat from here? After all the trouble we took to find these clues, I really don't want to leave without finding the girl Melanie spoke of. But this insertion was only meant to be reconnaissance op. With the huge number of enemies we face and the lack of support, it is best that we extract to ensure the safety of both Melanie and you. I understand. Eva, we're falling back for now. Push open the door and slide down the hidden passage, landing safely on the ground. The sound of pursuit fade behind us, and we get back outside the castle unharmed. Just as when Mestina, the last in our group, lands on the ground, a voice suddenly speaks up from behind us. Greetings, esteemed guest. Or perhaps you're more used to being called the Commander. What? Who? Who is this? I'm just gonna make a joke of saying Hatsune Miku! I should have made the joke, dang. Trying to make a ton of progress today. Hatsune. Okay. Getting esteemed guest. Or perhaps you're more used to being called the commander. Turn around and find that three enormous creatures have somehow surrounded us. Three Bujums, each at least 5 meters tall, block our retreat from 3 directions. But there's no intent to attack, instead they crouch low in unison. The figure of 3 Bujum Cerberus stands before us, and they are waiting like obedient dogs, ready to do their master's bidding. Bujums all have the same electronic collar fastened to a different part of their body, while glowing faintly. Collars seem to be connected via an invisible leash extending towards somewhere deep within the sea of flowers. At the end of that leash is a girl who looks around the same age as Melanie. She holds an iron ring in her hand. She walks through the endless epiphyllum, moving closer to us one step at a time. Her movements are light and graceful. She wears no protective equipment at all, which is enough to confirm that she is not human. At least not an ordinary human like me. Nice to meet you. Please forgive my shortcomings in hospitality, sir. As the figure steadily closer, I am at last able to see her properly. She can't be human since she wears no protection, yet her exposed limbs are flawlessly perfect, with not the slightest trace of being a doll or a niter. The only remaining possibilities are that she's a disguised doll using a high-end disguised frame, or a NATO. But somehow, perhaps it's because I've already seen so many dolls, I can't shake the feeling she is something much stranger. The girl was an expression that borders on serene. Although she stands before more than a dozen T-dolls with their weapons trained on her, her eyes seem to reflect none of the enmity she must see. She comes to a halt, lifts the hem of her skirt with her fingertips, giving a graceful curtsy. When she sees I grant her no reply in return, the girl doesn't move forward, instead she tilts her head. Mother said that you are an esteemed guest. Yet you intrude upon my abode, absent of intent to explain thyself. Your abode. Shock should not come upon you. I, my mother, and my older sisters. Here we once lived all together. The girl lifts her gaze to look at the old castle before her. Now only I remain here, and loneliness does grasp my heart from time to time. But mother told myself such. That we would soon meet, bringing my older sister along with thee. Hope escaped me, for I was convinced that tree would surely not bear fruit, but to my delight you appear afore me. It seems the thread of fate really does connect you and I. Hearing the girl's words, my eyes drift to Nemesis. Though she did not show anything on her face, some kind of sorrowful, shadowed atmosphere has been looming over her ever since earlier. She remains silent. I cannot talk today. So, Commander, did you not bring my older sister with you? I don't know who you mean by older sister. You don't know. It seems that the truth shall not meet between us in our dance of words, for your heart is close to me. How hurtful. No, it's because you've classified me as an enemy, isn't it? Besides, based on what I know, you are a deeply gentle person, but never one to hesitate when it comes to what must be done. Since you've classified me as an enemy, you may very well shoot me dead the next moment. That is perfectly fine. Indeed, that would be most apt. The girl speaks calmly, with words that seem to carry no emotion whatsoever, yet I find myself becoming more and more confused. I was been able to quickly tell whether someone is a doll or not, but this time I still can't tell. To prevent thee from a haughty attack and thus disrupting this most precious exchange, allow me to jog your memory on a few things. For instance, a certain third-gen doll you rescued in the Yellow Zone, whose frame you then repaired. If you would be willing to return her, Commander, I would be so grateful. The other sister she mentioned must be Sexton's. Then she must be a third-gen doll as well. And the mother she mentioned, could it be the same person Melanie spoke of? The girl doesn't give me much time to think. She raises the leash in her hand. The 3 Bujums let out low growls one after another. If you mean Sexton, she's not here right now. This humble self understands your misgivings. However, rest assured you may return her with peace of mind. I bear no ill will toward my elder sister, I simply wish to see her, that is all. Art thou seeking to barter with mine older sister as a chip? Unfortunately, I don't seem to have anything I could trade with, apart from guaranteeing the lives of yourself and your compatriots. Her frame suffered severe damage, and her neural cloud was almost completely destroyed. She is of no further use to people like you. That's why your folk discarded her in the yellow zone, no? The meaning behind your question eludes me, for I have done no such thing. May you perhaps be stalling for time? Did I roll? Yes, I did. It took me 70 rolls, though. Because of course it does. When would I ever be lucky? Or perhaps trying to extract intelligence. Have I been designated as a tactical target? The girl's face remains expressionless, but her tone carries a faint trace of curiosity. Most interesting. Mother once regaled that you are a top-tier master technician, one of the very few folk she respects. Indeed, you truly are different from those of your kind. I'm keen to learn from thee. Could have been double that. Oh, did it take you 140? Did you lose the 50-50? May you tell your dolls to ease. These little ones won't attack, but if you do not respond in kind, there may be an accident on our hands. I bear you no ill will at present, Commander. The comm channel Clicker's voice, still in the middle of laying out tactics, stops abruptly. I express my thanks. To reciprocate your kindness, allow me to provide and answer the question that plagued you. Much appreciated. Mother said that my older sister had already joined other organizations. That is the freedom offered to them. Older sisters. So whether they wish to return or not, Mother has no intention of interfering. Still, to us, my older sisters are also members of the family. Wanting to learn more about them is only natural. Learn? Haven't you ever met other third-gen dolls before? Met, yes, but back then I had only just been born and didn't have the ability to communicate. Some information can only be acquired through conversation. I am only permitted to learn via conversation. Thus I say, I really do want my older sister back, so that I can study her and learn things like sisterly love and how to express affection toward family. Wouldn't it be better to have someone specific to learn from? Commander, will you hand my older sister back to my arms now? What a touching speech. But how unfortunate that after witnessing Petadeo's deeds, my heart has only grown so much colder toward you all. How truly unfortunate indeed. Could tears beset your determination, I would have partaken. Well then, your pieces are now on the board, no? Please make your move. Yes, since you have expressed your refusal to return older sister of mine, I'll have to take another form of compensation. This is my first time engaging in real combat. Here I shall seek your generous guidance. One of the beast-type boonjums lets out a deafening roar, pawing up dust from the ground with its hoof claws. The dolls take their stance in front of Melanie and me. I hear the metallic click of bullets being chambered. More than a dozen streams of gunfire tear through the icy air, swarming the third-gen doll behind the boonjums. Yet the girl afar simply leaps upward, light as a feather. Light as a berry. Every bullet skims by the outline of her figure, not even brushing the hem of her dress. Now, I was lucky. V0R1 in 90, but it could have been a lot worse. And when there are so many dolls I actually want, using 90 rolls for someone I don't care that much about, only rolled because she's good for my teams, kind of hurt. Glance back behind the three boojums, their very next moment, her dispassionate gaze showing not even a single flutter of emotion. I see. No special tactical response is possible in such a situation. But these weapons seem rather primitive, uncivilized. Might you afford any others? Looks like we'll have to go all out. Her eyes gone red. But yeah, I've had some good times with rolls. Most of the time it's bad. Like I'm not gonna lie, most of the time it's not too good. Just save the natives. Hello Grim on YouTube. And we'll see what happens here. Actually, no, hold on. This one's not a NATO, apparently. Apparently this was a 3rd gen. But the NATOs... What did happen to them? Because I know there's some that, like, they just left. Those have generally been good, but there's no playable NATOs and NETOs in GFL2. I wonder if we're gonna get them. Considering, so in GFL1 you eventually could get some of them as like the assimilation units from Coalition. Just like you could get Sanguis Ferry units. Didn't know you had a YouTube. Yes. I'll be honest though, YouTube, the only reasons I use it for is stream archiving and posting shorts. The shorts do pretty good, surprisingly. Like, all things considered. Reminds me I gotta start doing that more often. But yeah, no, in terms of like interaction and such, that's mainly on Twitch, because on YouTube, I still haven't been able to figure out how to set up like the ability to properly like interact and stuff. And I know some things are locked until you have like, I think it's like 10,000 channel views or something like that. YouTube usually works a lot better than you. You don't like Twitch. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I want to get it fully set up so that both of them are fully set up, but I gotta figure out how to do it. Most of them got wiped out during a burnus. They're still making them, but they're very limited. Lady Nito character is a new generic Nito design. Managers are basically Nito-like characters. Yeah. Soul Cycles and most of them were wiped out. Yeah. I'm trying to think which ones are the survivors? No, some of them were. We had some of them, like, I'm pretty sure it was canon. Twitch wants your phone number. Oh. Okay, so I do have it set to avoid bots. You don't have to do the phone number thing. I can actually lower that, because it apparently doesn't even work half the time. But the reason why I had that up, so it's a moderation thing that I have it set. I can turn that off actually, which I do want to change. Reason I did that is because so many like accounts that were literally made like within 24 hours. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so it's set to where if you don't have a verified phone number, you just have to let me do that. Let me change that. It says it at 10. And change that to 2 weeks. No, do not do that. Let me turn that off as well. And hopefully that is fine. But it's basically like it's to automatically cut off any attempts from bots. Because a lot of bots are like, the accounts are made same day and then they start spamming everybody. So I have it set where it's mainly the email one. But like, the email one's like a lot tougher, because like having a verified email is kind of a given. But the phone number one, I guess I gotta lower. Anna and her cadre survived along with a few others, like the ones we recruited in Assimilation Protocol, but most of them, like Chilveg, are new clones and in limited numbers. Yeah, the new ones are definitely like that. Yeah, no, the bots are a huge issue. I still need to figure out how to stop them on YouTube, because every now and then they pop up on YouTube and I can't seem to figure out a good way to get rid of them, except for just basically blocking them, because there's no real... I haven't found a real banning feature, unless that's something you get later if the channel's bigger. But on Twitch there's so many. But just changing a couple of the moderation settings significantly helps. As well as banning a couple obvious terms like, oh, buy viewers, stream boo, that kind of thing. You ban those phrases, and it auto rejects like so many bots. And then anytime a new variation comes around, I just copy paste different segments of their phrases into the banned terms list, and it helps. But yeah, having it set to like, oh, an account has to have existed for longer than like a certain amount of time, or has to have followed for a certain amount of time, helps as well. Looks like we'll have to go out. Oh yeah, that's another one. You try to talk about certain things, and then bots just swarm because the terms have been mentioned, yeah. Dolls open up with their second volley, covering my retreat. It's as if some kind of high-strength force field envelops the girl. She walks forward slowly, her bullets seem to hold in midair around her like flies against glass, falling once they've spent all their kinetic energy. So she has the shields from the first game then. Yep, she is a full-scale Nito then. Movements are now beyond what could only be described as fast. As the dolls focus their fire on her, she suddenly vanishes. The next moment, that flawlessly young face appears just outside the visor attached to my head cover. She gently strokes my mask, her lips turning into a slight pout. This thing is rather bothersome, but if I take it off you'll die, won't you? Humans are struck with such inconvenience. Commander! She tackles me to the ground while the other dolls rush between the girl and me just in time. She doesn't attack, instead she acts like a child entering a petting zoo. She focuses on touching the doll's hair and skin a few times each, as if she's trying to get acquainted with some cute little animals for the first time. So this is what they feel like. Yeah, we're definitely going to be encountering some rough ones later then. Because, like, despite the fact the vast majority of fell in Avernus and then in the final fight as well, like the Remnants final fight, where it's clearly obvious that Petadeus has been building up forces again. Like, we haven't seen any of the the regular units either from Petadeus, because like we haven't seen any of the Strelets. We haven't seen like the, what do they call it? Rodelero? Or was it Rodero? No Dopa Soldiers, no like all those other ones, you know. Like the the Strelets, the foot soldiers. We haven't even seen those. And we've only really seen the Nighters, yeah. And the cultists. I think that's it. Now that I think about it, I think it's literally just been the Nighters, the cultists, and now the Nemesis-style dolls. So we focus on Boogems and third-gen dolls. Yeah. Which, I mean, with, I mean, Boogems being just big giant monster does work. Yeah, exactly. They're a little closer to like Umbrella style rather than before, where they were mainly super high tech in the tech level, with just being like a combo between tech and biology. Well, now it seems way more focused towards biology and mutation. So this is what they feel like. She gives it at her fingertips as if moved by the experience. Gozo takes the chance to scoop me up, pulling back with the other dolls. The smell of gunpowder begins spreading in the patch of pine and forest. Next moment, Alvaro Mestina, who had positioned themselves deep in the forest behind the girl in advance, launch a rocket straight at her, hidden among countless streams of bullets. The shrill sound of the rocket reaches her position in an instant. She has no time to dodge it, no matter what. They seem to just be like a a higher tier of elids. Or like, yeah, like a classification of elids, because I do think they fall under the elid classification. Like the whole classification, like the elid term. Because like, for example, this is mentioned in the first game too, where elids, and this is also mentioned in Baker Go a lot, where there's different tiers of elids, different classes of them. You go all the way from like your standard, like basically zombies, to full-on eldritch abominations that you need like heavy military force to even take down one of them. Which I think Boogems kind of count as such, because if you remember the Chimera, I think is what it's called, the big deer monster flower thing, that one, it took an entire like an entire platoon just to end up end 404 just to hurt it. Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how things lead up to when they get to reverse collapse. Flash of the explosion casts her slim shadow against the surrounding trees, swaying violently in the kicked-up cloud of dust. But as the smoke clears, we see that the girl is still standing there, completely unharmed. Her right hand is slightly spread open, seemingly still savoring the sensation from earlier. Even with the wreckage of the rocket still burning at her feet, she does not move a single step. What? It's impossible to equip a doll with a force field this strong. Force field? You speak of something I need not. Emitting energy at a certain frequency is enough, no? By the way, Commander, as compensation for your intrusion, your attacks on me, and your refusal to return my sister, allow me the privilege of a touch. The instant the girl finishes speaking, Gluka and Groza stand right in front of me to body block the girl. Suddenly get flung aside. She appears in front of me, tilting her head up to look at my face. I raise my pistol and fire at her, but she dodges the bullet with a slight tilt of her head. Then she raises a single finger towards me. A finger swiftly pierces through my protective suit, easily punching through the bullet-resistant material, tearing into my flesh. Well, that's not good. Commander! So that's how it is. She doesn't try to stop Groza from desperately dragging me away. She just stands in the midst of the dolls encircling her, raising her slender right index finger to gaze at the glistening red bead of blood upon it in an unhurried manner. Then the girl places her fingertip into her mouth with an expression of pure curiosity in her eyes. So this is the flavor of the ichor that courses through the veins of those partially immune. Truly fascinating. Excuse me? So we actually are partially immune? I mean, it would explain how much we've survived through so much stuff and not gotten infected. And I did have the suspicion. I think it was confirmed at some point, but I couldn't remember clearly. Truly fascinating. I think my current mood is so many sensations are welling up inside of me at once. Your group may use this chance to escape, Commander. I want to take some time to process my feelings and emotions. This span of time is the gift I'm giving you. I hope they manage to live on. The girl turns around. With her back to us, she begins walking away with a spring in her step. As for the Boogems she left behind, the electronic collars on their bodies have vanished. They revert to their bestial nature in a single moment, their indistinct faces twisting into expressions of bone-chilling savagery. I think I think another thing, I'd have to look into it, but I think another thing that separates Boogems from just regular elids is they are elids. They do count as them. But the reason why they aren't just, class something of elids, they seem to be several things. I've seen that a lot of Boogems seem to have been manufactured. But then there's also, like, the giant flower worm thing that was apparently an amalgamation of elids. So I think it's like they have to be made in some way rather than it being just a natural like singular Elid that mutates, eventually turning into like a higher class Elid. Though it does make me wonder because we've got Boojums, but we definitely have a huge difference between the different kinds of Boojums there are. Because there's of course the Boojums that are like really low level to the point where it's like, oh yeah, no, we can handle them pretty easily. To things like the Chimera, which needed the whole like recon force and it was the recon force, the mercs that were also there, and the squad. And then there's the yeah, and then there's the giant like snake worm. It was more of a worm. The more worm flower thing that was very early on in the story. It was like right after we encountered Kolne. Story-wise and through art-wise, that one definitely seems significantly more dangerous to the point where we didn't actually kill it. We just like directed it away or something to into buying them time to dip out. Because the thing was huge. Like way bigger than even the Chimera and everything. But I'm interested in seeing when we get more lore on them. To see exactly the differences. Because like normal Elids are clearly a thing, and there's clearly different classes of Elids still. Because you've got your normal ones that die in a couple bullets, but you still have like the tougher ones that basically count as elites in gameplay wise. It is interesting though that we haven't seen any like humanoid ones gameplay wise. Yeah, it does make me curious, because the quarantine walls are still a thing. It makes me curious, though, how often do they get attacked? And I guess the quarantine railway thing and the continual, like, progression, maybe they constantly have, like, excursions going out, intentionally, like, culling things near the walls. Because I remember another part, I forget which event it was, but there was an incident in where like the walls were breached. I think it was Petideo's cultists there too, actually, in the first game. They ended up detonating an explosive that ended up breaching the walls, and then like Elids started flooding in. No, so the humanoids quickly mutate. Yeah. I guess I just mean like we see a lot of the animal plant ones, but not that many of like the more humanoid ones. We have seen in story, of course. We saw the one that was like what's it called? The one when they went looking for, who were they looking for? They went into like one of the cult bases. And that's when they encountered a Knighter there who caused it to happen to one of the, was it? No, it was a NATO, right? Nito. It was either a Nito or, it was a Nito. It was a Nito that caused one of the cultists to immediately mutate. And we see it through the images and the... Yeah, they had like the big smashers in the first game. And there was also the interesting thing of like the whole the Elids that like if they're armed, they still retain enough muscle memory to be able to use the weapons. Objective is to retreat, prepare for combat. After confirming that none of our weapons can harm that girl, I apply a repair patch over the hole she punched through. While directing those two, dang it, it did the instant finish thing again. Ooh, new area. Our new gameplay area, I mean. Yeah, Epiphyllums. Oh, look, there's one of the worms. Oh wait, those? I never even thought of those being counted as elids. Or they might be just reusing a thing there. Dire? No, no, it is. It is. Never mind. Never mind. This is a thing. But yeah, look, here's one of the chimeras. Of course, gameplay-wise, they make them way smaller because this thing is like a fifth the size of the actual one from the cutscene. Disco ball attack, yeah. And then this one is like a tenth the size of the one from the actual, like, from the art and the scenes. Yeah, no, this. They did really good with this terrain. I want to just go out there. If I can't just let me run off into the distance. I don't like that this stuff moves. Like, what is this stuff? I don't like it. It's like the bad water, the spicy water. And of course you see all the crystals. Alright, let's just quickly delete these because I'm trying to make as much progress as fast as possible. Well, 2 of them deleted. Never mind, they didn't. Reduce all Terrado creatures? Well then, okay. This is Cheetah's drink. Mika brain game images. Under attack by 3 Bujums, the ground beneath me trembles as the action shakes up radioactive dust that whirls through the air. Dolls beside me focus fire on what seems to be the smallest, weakest Bujum. With sheer effort, we managed to create a relatively safe path for us to make a temporary retreat. Make a beeline to the edge of the red zone on the accompaniment of thunderous gunfire. Bullets streak past my face, drawing searing hot lines of air in our vicinity, kicking up plumes that assault my nose with gunpowder-infused smoke. Good thing these Bujums do not seem interested in chasing us to the end. Stopped hearing the Bujum's shrill screams after we hid behind an earthen rampart in a grove of dead trees. Our surroundings returned to an eerie silence, unique to the red zone. Jafudi powder. Oh no. Might have been pinged. Where? Oh. Give me a second. What was that? What was that? Oh, hey, Blank. Thank you for the
Half-Life 1.
Thank you for the resell. Wait. Does that mean you can hear me? Because then I can respond to what you asked me in Discord. I can respond to what you asked me there, but on stream. Brother, I thought you were on streamer mode, but you're on streamer mode? Yeah, I am, but like I see the little number still. I made it so I could still see the notification number and I saw it go to 2 instead of 1. The only reason it's on 1 is because I have a friend request from someone that is friends with multiple people I know, but I don't remember who they are, so I'm like hesitant to accept. But I saw it go from 1 to 2 and I'm like, "Oh, someone must have said something." I check and then I saw it was in my server. But yeah, to answer your question, technically the one I'm in is supposed to be uh one with like active server and everything. But the problem is so many of the people have gone inactive, both in the server and in the platoon. So I'm switching platoons. I don't think that platoon has a Discord, but I'm switching platoons. Problem is, I can't do that until Gunsmoke ends, because it turns out you can't leave platoons or kick people during platoons or be kicked during platoons when Gunsmoke is happening. Because I was trying to get Orca to, because the platoon that Jiu's in, really good platoon, and it's top, it's a really top tier platoon. But there was no space for a while, and then there was, only for us to find out that we can't leave during Gunsmoke. Yeah, no, we're gonna switch to We're gonna switch to that one. It has like 5 slots, so if it still has 5 slots, by the time Gunsmoke ends, I can definitely get you in there too. I don't know. They're active in the platoon. I do know that because Gio sends me plenty of screenshots of the platoon's chat, and they pretty often are talking all the time, and we'll even like do little strategies and stuff talking about how, hey guys, you can definitely use my this character. I have her maxed out. You can use her for the platoon thing, and then do that kind of thing for Gunsmoke. Platoon had some attrition the last few months, but it's still fine. Mine, yeah, mine's only just gotten worse and worse because I think as people started realizing that there's more and more people going, there's like I think 2/3 of the platoon now just doesn't really log on anymore. There's a space. If not, I'll go hunting for one too. There should be because apparently the way they do it is there's always at least one slot available, and they never purge people who are inactive unless there's no slots available in general. In which case they'll go for whoever hasn't been on the longest. So whoever has been inactive the longest. So basically, even if you're just on like once a month, you'll probably be fine because there's people who literally played like the first week. In my platoon, there's people who literally played like the first week, never came back. Like they maxed out, they have all this stuff maxed out, but then they never came back. Anyway, though, to continue. Let's see. Surroundings return to an eerie silence unique to the red zone. I guess for air, taking deep breaths through my protective suit's filtered mask. Suddenly, sweet, iron-tasting liquid starts welling up in my throat. Well, there's not good. Day 700 collapse piece maxing trust for when they come back. Oh, well that's not good. Did the protective suit's internal circulation systems break down? Radiation protection features of the suit were already compromised when it was pierced. Commander, your vital signs are not looking good. We must leave immediately. I'm alright. Calm down. We should first take care of the issue right in front of us. I'm currently not too sure why that Turgent also they wanted us to hand Sextons over, but the experiment equipment we found proves that this is indeed one of Patadeus' bases. Looks like they want us to use Sextons for something. Since they didn't chase us down, they must be aiming for the Elmo next. Right now, we must prioritize getting back to the Elmo ASAP and prepare to fend off a possible enemy attack. Another important thing, we found equipment for storing Helenas back there, but we couldn't find where they hid H-35. Once we're back on the Elmo, we should gather as much manpower as we can, then find a way to rescue that girl. Alright. I'll report what we found up the chain of command and ask them to reinforce us ASAP. We should all get going then, and start to reach the Elmo before night falls. Oh. Familiar beeping on my communicator reaches my ears. Usually hear it many times on the daily, but I haven't heard it once since I ventured into the red zone until now. It's a call from the Elmo. Look down and see on the screen of the communicator a single faint signal bar flickering on and off. Quickly answer the call. Finally connected. Commander. What's wrong, Helen? 30 minutes ago, the Elmo was attacked by mercenaries of unknown origin again. There are more of them? Ominous feeling was up in my chest. Looks like the Elmo's location has already been pinpointed, and right now we have no means of breaking free from our pursuers. Is everyone alright? We've been able to confirm the enemy's identity. Can't confirm their identity for now, but they don't seem to be the same group as the previous ones. We deployed 3 squads from the Elmo to engage them, sustaining injuries of varying degrees, but we managed to propel them. Understood. We'll settle immediately, so... No, Commander, something else just happened, and it's rather troubling. We discovered that Miss Sextons had broken free of her restraints when we returned to the Elmo. Bruh. She seemed to be controlled by something. We had no way to stop her from leaving without injuring her. So Sextons isn't on the Elmo right now. Indeed. We tried to search the surrounding area after she escaped, but we couldn't find her. Footprint tracking indicates that she headed into the red zone alone sometime after leaving the Elmo. Even radar information, even our equipment can't. And there goes our signal. The communicator returns to emitting only static, and Helen's voice is cut off with it. For a moment, no one speaks. I knew that the enemy would target the Elmo, but I didn't think they'd act this fast. They haven't given me even a moment to catch my breath. Before we set out, we deliberately parked the Elmo at the edge of the red zone, in a signal blind spot. The fact that the enemy started attacking this quick means they've been watching us for a long time. Could that ambush that happened before we left also... Were the coordinates and sections Neurocloud and the pulses Melanie sensed all just bait to lure us away? If that's the case, according to the info Helen gave us, sections entered the red zone about half an hour back. We have to find her before the enemy does. Everyone, you've all heard what was said. The sections really did enter the red zone and we have to find her ASAP. Still don't know why exactly our enemy is so fixated on her, but she falls back into Paradeo's hands. Things will get really troublesome for us. What's more, she is one of us now, so we absolutely can't leave her behind. I know that several dolls, Krolik among them, have some reservations about what I said, but in the end none of them voice anything. They simply wait quietly for my orders. Okay, take 404. Using this position as your origin point, conduct a clockwise sweep within a 5-kilometer radius. No problem. But are you really going to be fine staying out here? Hurry back to the Elmo, we can handle the search without you. I've seen many people suffer acute ELID before. They all eventually... Don't worry. I'm aware of my own condition. We'll head straight back to the Elmo the moment we find Sextons. Commander! I promise you, Cloaka, that I'll be fine. I do have some degree of radiation resistance after all. Just the man you chose to follow. Understood. I'll find that doll as quickly as I can. You better remember our promise. Cloaka departs 404. That after I turned to Olva. She already knew what I was going to say. We'll do the opposite of 404 and rendezvous back here at the end. Alright. As for me, Commander, please stay here and don't go anywhere. Olva rummages through the briefcase, Fomistina carries on her back for a moment, before pulling out a device about half the height of a person. Something that resembles a launcher. This is specialized equipment that absorbs ambient radiation for a short period of time. Its operating duration is very short inside the red zone, but it'll be enough to give you a chance to rest. Please wait here with Team Groza for results while 404 and Defy conduct our searches. Alright, I understand. Be careful, everyone. If you run into any emergencies, call for support immediately. Stay in constant communication. I have Vomistina prepared to leave. Paritia steps forward to follow, but suddenly she turns back to look at me, returning to my side. Paritia, what's wrong? It's nothing, I just suddenly thought of something. Paritia smiles at me. I mentioned it before, didn't I? I occasionally find out that I have certain inexplainable abilities. So I thought, maybe I have a way to make you feel better, Commander. Would you like me to try? Without waiting for my response, Paritia crouches down and takes my hand in hers. I don't know if I'm just imagining it, but I feel a warm current flowing into my body, starting from my palm. The taste of blood in my throat slowly fades, and my head no longer hurts the way it did moments ago. How did you do that? Paritia raises her index finger and lightly taps it against my mask, where my lips would be. Commander, it's important to stay warm in the wilderness. Do remember to dress warmer the next time you spend the night outside. With that said, she ends the dialogue by getting up and following Olva and the others without looking back. Huh? Now that all the squads have their missions, the dolls disperse and begin their carpet sweep of the surrounding area. This is the first time Paritia has been in a main event, right? Well, main line event. Event. I'll just say event. I don't think she's ever been in anything except for mentioned in passing, well, sort of passing in some of the chapters, and in background lore that you can read in the game. Now that the squads have their missions, the dolls disperse and begin their carpet sweep of the surrounding area. The only sounds of the communicator are updates on their own coordinates and status reports. My body, exhausted from the long ordeal, is starting to feel weary. I force myself to stay alert and focus on the reports that the dolls are sending back. A small hand wraps around my palm. Paritia? No. She's not from GFL1. I thought she was at first, but no. Persica remote controlling a doll. uh, I think Persica's a little too busy with her antics for that. Too busy drinking copious amounts of coffee. Small hand wraps around my palm. I think this is how Peritia did it just now. I want to try it too. Are you feeling better? Melanie looks worried. To reassure her, I lift my hand and pat her head. Yup, I'm feeling much better. Thank you. Thank you for accepting such a selfish request from me. It's alright, I promised you that I'd rescue your companions. My companions? Melanie, do you know how many companions you have? Isn't Persica like 80 at this point? So it was heavily implied that by the end of the first game, like the last time we meet her, she was like 30 something, I think. She must have been. She's gotta be like at least in her 40s. You know, nah, I gotta know now. I gotta know. Hold on. Maybe that's something I can look up. Let's see. GFL. 60? Apparently chronologically she must be 60 because she was a university graduate in 2040. In 2074, 34 years since her college days. How? She is this like 50s, 60s or something like that. Someone even mentions like I was going to fight this because I couldn't believe Persica was that old, but after looking up the dates, in 2040 Persica is a postgraduate working on doll stuff. Given that she's wildly smart, I couldn't see her finishing university later than 22, 24 years old, depending if she took breaks or anything. If she skipped grades or however, she'd be younger. But now we're in 2074, 34 years since her college days, and this lady just doesn't age. She hasn't aged since GFL1. Is all that sugar in her coffee the secret to her youth? Uh, it's funny how a lot of T-Doll researchers are almost immortal or never age, even though they're old. Some because of lore, some like Persica just for no reason, including Shaw and Hume. When you pretend to be your own father and child over multiple generations to hide your relic youth tax. And then, of course, you have someone saying reignite a dying star. Yeah, no, she looks just amazing for 16, like, jeez. Truly the hag cat. Which does imply that Anja was actually younger by a lot. Yeah, this is... I'm gonna blame it on... Since she went into such tech and is super highly tech advanced stuff that obviously had connections with so many other companies that she probably had really, really good healthcare. Secretly in her pocket. Well, do you know how many companions you have? I'm not sure. Such things would only be known by the progenitor. We're nothing more than cloned bodies, branches of a collective. Everything we experience will eventually flow back to the progenitor until it becomes the key to opening that door. The key. Teacher once told us that if we were devout enough, we could change the future and save everyone. When God granted us life, he also entrusted us with a responsibility we ought to bear. So sometimes I do wonder, maybe the Nighters were wrong, but did I really do the right thing by fleeing that place? Did I run away from a responsibility that she said was mine to bear? What is the purpose of my being if I have thrown away that responsibility? I never used to think about much of anything. I just wanted to save everyone. But can I, the me of today, really save the other Helenas? I haven't accomplished anything after all this time. I've been put you in danger on numerous occasions. Are you worried about me, Melanie? I just think that I don't seem as capable as I imagine myself to be. Of course. However special your existence may be, you're still just a kid. This chaotic world should not be your weight to bear. Be it you or any of the other Helenas, none of you have grown up enough to bear the kind of responsibility yet. You should be going to school, experiencing life, playing to your heart's content, not carrying humanity's fate on your shoulders for reasons unknown. But there is no such thing as a responsibility that a newborn should be obligated to bear. Every responsibility should correspond to a choice. But your birth itself was not a choice you made. Alright, now isn't the time to be dwelling on these things. The most important thing right now is to figure out how to rescue the girl called H35. Yeah. Speaking of which, when you sensed H35, did you notice any particular conditions for you to do so? If we can find a pattern, maybe we could find a way to establish a connection with her, and locate her as quickly as possible. Melanie thinks for a moment. Not sure if this counts as anything special, but every time I sensed her, I could, through that girl's thoughts, feel some kind of intense yearning that didn't belong to her. Whenever this happened, she would feel terrible pain, but perhaps we can briefly establish a connection only through such pulses. About this connection, does it have anything to do with the progenitor you mentioned before? I don't think it's because of her. I was far from the progenitor before, and it isn't easy for her to find me. But as for H35, she said that the progenitor seems to be really interested in her. Because she's a girl who returned from Nirvana, she possesses power from the future. So that's why Melanie mentioned before that H35 knew what happened to Lviv. But why would she possess that kind of power as a Helena clone who had never set foot outside the laboratory? A strange thought crosses my mind. No! Oh, poor Orphalune. I mean, her existence continues in a way, but dang it, man. No, I mustn't confuse hope with judgment. The leads we have aren't enough to draw any conclusions yet. Still, the possibility cannot be ignored. The progenitor also seems to believe that the power H35 possesses can make her stronger, so she betrayed us once more, allowing those people to know of H35's existence. And that's how they discovered what was special about her. And that was why they started using her in countless experiments. That girl's in great pain right now. She's constantly forced to feed the strength within her body to something. That something is so terrifying, so powerful. It absorbs everything it can find, turning everything into nourishment for itself. I'm scared. That girl keeps... Melanie? I pat Melanie on the back, pulling her from the mire of her thoughts. We'll save her. We will. Orphalune and all body wine. No, dang it, I missed it! I missed the last segment because I looked away. No! Dang it. Hold on, let me find a friggin' YouTube video for this. GFL. What's the... Dang it, what's this event called? You know what, I'm just... Sexton's event. Sexton's event. Moon Shroud Requiem. Okay. Moon Shroud Requiem. I cannot spell Requiem. There we go. That is still not how you spell Requiem. Okay, there we go. Event story. Now, I missed two things. Please tell me it's split up. Please tell me this guy has it split up. He does. Okay. So I missed... Before combat... Let's see. Oh, okay. So it was the hole she punched through while directing those to deal with the immediate crisis befalling us. Okay, so that's that segment. Now what about back up a little bit. Come on.
I didn't skip the dialogue. It's the stupid bug that's still in the game that like I don't know how to fix.
Melanie gives me a nod before starting to lean on my shoulder again. Alright, that's what it was.
I didn't skip the dialogue, okay? I see people where it doesn't affect them. I think I either need to full reinstall or do like a verify check or something, but like, the pain. The absolute pain. Every time. Every time. It's always the last segment of, or the last part of a segment. It's like, oh, you're about to go into combat? Well, last frame will, as soon as it reaches the end, immediately skip. So you have to read either really fast or hope that you saw enough of it to repeat it.
Beneath the moonlight, pale as tulle, a phantom flits across the sea of flowers. Her steps are a misty trail across the night, piercing through the bright silver glow reflected among the blossoms. Coordinates PR495Z82. XU938M39. Sanctum. She stops at the edge of the flower sea, gazing at the faraway castle that stands beneath the faint light. This place is familiar yet foreign to her birthplace. The place that gave her every dream, every hope, then stripped them all away. Behind Sexton's, a white-clad figure draws closer with measured steps. She stops at the edge of Sexton's shadow, cast long and slender upon the ground. The silver glow traces her outline as if shielding her from melting into the darkness again, or ahead. Big sis. Sexton's sword answers in her steed. Center her blade clearing scabbard as cold as the grim reaper's exhale. Tip does not tremble in the slightest, and drives straight towards her chest. The instant the black blade strikes his target, the white silhouette shatters. Particles, fine as powder, look like dust from collapsed radiation dispersing into the air within moments. Right after, that detached voice returns behind Sexton's. Welcome home. As a residue of silence fades, Sexton stares at the emptiness before her, her voice dry and low. Nest, altar, sanctum. So now, she has all of you calling this place home. And who are you? The totem who guides the lost lambs? The ferry to the boundless shore? Or the grail that holds the blood of the world? Which identity has she bestowed upon you? Ataraxis. I have no need of any identity, because I am the world itself flowing out from the end. The gates are destined to open to me, and I am ordained not to repeat the failures of those who came before. The gates. Miracles are born one after another, only to be reduced to dust. No matter the identity, none is more than an empty lie fabricated by Patadeus. The one who created us. Even though she mocked those lies, she happily accepted everything Patadeus gave her, all for the sake of so-called perfection. Unfortunately, a perfect life form exists only in the blueprint within her imagination. It can never be brought into reality. And you won't be the final work of that blueprint either. Perhaps she doesn't understand what Sexton's meant, or perhaps she simply doesn't care about what Sexton's just said. The girl simply blinks at her gently. I am the final creation. At the very least, no individuals will be created as a successor to me within Mother's current series. And perfection was never the goal. The peak always remains at the same stage, at the next stage. All you need to do is keep learning. That is what Mother says. Whatever you say. Although you are my older sister, you are far less interesting than the commander. I should have kept him here. The commander? Why was he here? To protect you, perhaps? I want to see Mother. Mother has not the intention to see thee. It was I who summoned you back. I heard it. That string of code you triggered, no one could ignore it. Not even I, who had been destroyed once before. But still, I want to see her. Do you wish to die by my hand? Do as you please. I have only come to retrieve what is mine, nothing more. What is yours? Do you have something of your own? I want to know what that is. Very well, I'll take you to Mother. Big sis, please follow me. Two of them walk in a row in silence, like the heavy darkness of night and the moonlight that trails a shadow. It's a big moon. Saxons never imagined that she would return to this place again. She left bearing a mission that transcended both humans and dolls. At least that was what she believed at the time. Yet she returned with nothing. And now at least she must reclaim the final thing that can prove who she is. Commander, why did you come? I hope you've already gone back. Mother said this used to be your room, Big Sis. Please rest here for now. Where is she? Mother's still working. Fine. You're nothing more than yet another yes-man. I can wait, but if you make me wait too long, something that she wouldn't like to see may happen. What would happen? May I ask? Please do not direct your hostility at me, Big Sis. If I am forced to attack you, there may be nothing left of you at all, even if I use the least bit of force possible. Therefore, it should be thee that yields to please me. There is no point in taking a hardline stance toward those stronger than yourself. This is how I see it. If there is something that I do not understand, please teach me. You haven't done anything to the commander, have you? Wait. If Texan speaks, is G36 bigger sister or is G36 actually my... What do you mean? What do you mean? Like... Have you seen Sexton's maid? Oh, that's why. Good question. She does look, yeah, she does look similar in the maid costume. Good question. Which does remind me, I wonder if we're actually gonna get G36C in here. You know, G36's actual sister. Which is interesting as well because of the fact that, like, you know Endores? Endores uses the G36K. Well, a certain G36K. It's really interesting. But I know that the weapons thing is like, oh, that's just what they're imprinted with. It's not necessarily anything. Doesn't necessarily mean anything in terms of who they are. Or at least getting P90. I did see that, yeah. I got a friend who he doesn't play GFL or anything, but he's a massive fan of the P90 in general. He literally has one now. We got to fire it yesterday actually at the range. It was really fun. Only problem was that the majority of our time at the range was spent with him trying to zero in his EOTech. But anyway, once I showed him Mittel. I think it's gonna be pronounced Mittel. So P90 in this game. He's like, yeah, no, you get her for me, please. So I'm gonna be getting her in like as a what would the word be? Commemoration? Not memoriam. He's not dead, but like in reference to him, I guess. So you're learning from the commander. I see. That makes sense then. Since he is a fragile human who cannot even survive here, he must enforce his will and conviction. Even when faced with certain death, he cannot back down. That is how he generates the will to move forward. So your bluster right now must be for the purpose of stealing your own conviction, Big Sis. You are afraid. You fear me. You fear Mother even more. But what you fear most remains. Shut up. STR-01A247 tries to take a step forward in the darkness. The ground beneath her feet is not level. In fact, we can say that it is strewn with obstacles. And so, unsurprisingly, she falls. Along with the loud crash of metal striking metal comes extreme discomfort from her frame. STR-01A247 doesn't know what to do. All she can do is lie there helpless. After what seems to be a long time, a gentle voice rises to the dark. You've fallen. How does it feel? Feel? Right, you don't know what feel means yet. She takes STR-01A247's hand into her own. You may understand it as a complex, dynamic biological feedback algorithm. It contains certain sensor readings. For example, right now, in the palm of your hand, the pressure sensor will register 0.03 newtons of force, and the temperature sensor will detect a heat source at around 36.3 degrees Celsius. This data flows into your neural space, where it is logged as the corresponding behavior. Handshake. Handshake. But a feeling does not end here. Aside from the data stream the neural cloud receives, a non-logical evaluation system will provide you with real-time feedback. The emotional module within your neural cloud generates neurotransmitters in your frame, which then log a tendency within your neural cloud space. And the next time, when that 0.3 newtons of force and that 36.3 degree contact are registered again, the concept of handshake will feed directly back into your neural cloud. Just like right now. Our mother, once again, takes STR-01A247's hand and helps her up to her feet. See, I have studied you. So long as I am by your side, you will never fall again. Now, try walking forward. With worry, STR-01A247 takes a small step forward. Though obstacles still cover the ground with the support of Mother's grip on her, the lowest point of her frame finally lands steadily and squarely upon the floor. How do you feel now? Will not fall. Safe. The woman looks deeply satisfied. You see, so long as I am by your side, you are safe. Do you understand? Yes. But what if you are not? My child, I will always be here. At any time, whenever you need me, I will be by your side. STR-01A247 nods, half understanding, half not. Now I shall slowly teach you everything about the world, holding nothing back. Everything? Indeed, everything. The woman holds the doll's hand, resting her other hand on STR-01A247's shoulder. She brings her lips close to the auditory sensor and whispers, in a voice low and intimate, words that flow like divine revelation. For a newly born doll, whose neural cloud had only just taken shape, this is nothing short of sensory overload. Everything means the things I touch will be within your grasp. Every step I take will become the path you walk. The knowledge I hold will be the foundation from which you explore the unknown. The principles I reveal will be the map that guides you through the fog. And the mysteries I have yet to unravel shall be the dawn you meet the future with. My child, you have the chance to become such a being. If that day comes, you will transcend the prison of consciousness, transcend the limits of intelligence, perhaps transcend even time itself. Transcend all the chains that have bound humanity for so long, and become a unique existence in this world with no peer. This will be a thorny path. However, you are blessed that we will support each other. I will hold you steady all the way to the end. Just like how a moment ago I made sure your feet found solid ground despite the closure of your eyes. I will not disappoint you. My sweet child, you have such a gentle heart. But you will never disappoint me, for your very birth has already advanced me one great step forward. Our birth. We... STR-01A247 opens her eyes for the first time. She finally sees what it was that made her trip earlier. Countless broken, shattered frames. Sexton's, lost deep in her memory, closes her eyes tightly. Those memory fragments were from the birth of her neural cloud. They should have been wiped along with her past at the conglomerate, but somehow they were preserved intact. Now, all that she remembers is the promise made at her birth and the agony of walking all the way to the end. Is that what it said? All the way to the end? I have to make sure. I have to be sure, I'm sorry. Walking all the way to the her end. Okay, that's what it was. I think I can manage to do like one more, depending on how long it is. How long is 1/6? Not that long. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go pretty soon because I do gotta get up at like 3 a.m. Temperature around us drops sharply after nightfall. The faint blue fluorescence radiating from the edges of the collapsed epiphyllum makes the air chill more so. On the edge of south to dreamland as we wait for sextants to be found. Oh wait, right, hold on. G36 also already teased. Wait, really? Oh man, I must have missed that. Like teased as in mentioned, or teased as in like we've seen her like CG? Or say Melanie tolerates the red zone far better than an ordinary human like me. She's an immune individual after all. It's been nearly 8 hours since we entered the red zone. As the only ordinary human present, my skin has already started to prickle even with my protective suit on. It has become more difficult for me to breathe as well. A wave of fatigue washes over me out of nowhere. My eyelids start feeling heavy. It's getting harder and harder to maintain my focus. Commander, we found traces of activity from sextants at coordinates PR493Z86-XU938M39. M39. The that we encountered earlier, which we suspect to be third Dennis together with her as well. 404's report jolts me back to alertness. Looking at the offline map on my Daham's device, I see that the coordinates lie about 30 kilometers from us in our 2 o'clock direction. That's near the castle. The worst case scenario has come to pass. Commander, do we act? Wait until we link up with you first. Alva, where are you right now? How far are you from the location? We were searching in the opposite direction from 404. We can reach there in about 20 minutes. Understood. We'll head over as well. Gluka, keep watching them for now. Don't make a move until we and Defy arrive. Acknowledged. 20 minutes later, the 3 squads regroup. But during our approach, Gluka reports a new update over the comms channel. The 2 of them didn't linger outside they entered the castle. So now another difficult decision awaits me. Thanks to Defy's support, the equipment we brought includes a large number of highly destructive weapons, and among them, enough explosives to level this castle. When we entered the castle earlier, none of the squads found any signs of special defensive measures. So if our only goal were to destroy the Sparadeo's base, I could just ask 404 to silently plant explosives around the castle and wait for the right moment to detonate them. I have full confidence that even right now, 404 could carry out that mission without a scratch. The remaining 2 squads would then only need to take advantage of the enemy's confusion to hold position around the castle, picking off any survivors. But now we know that sextants just went inside that castle. I'm still really lost on a lot of things about sextants, by the way. It's like my memory of all of the events surrounding her are gone, except for like our first encounter with her, the thing with the one guy who was working with the conglomerate, when that guy dies, and then there's just blank, and then it's her appearing with a big old cannon, as well as her appearing in the Petideos like cult based place, or like at least with the cloak on. And I don't quite you who give it different writer, to be honest. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what exactly was around, because then in a later event from those events, there was mention that sextants had been with an attack on Kalina, and I don't remember that happening either. So I think I need to find like lore on her, but like when I've tried looking on the wiki, they don't have anything there yet. Oh, Tease is one of the oh, okay.
You're a few minutes. Oh no, you're good. You're good. You're good. But the most recent ones are better. I just want to know, basically. I just want to know, like, the situation from Sextons, from like the whole situation that I did understand, which was, oh, Sextons being a hired third gen doll, specifically hired out to that one, like, the young, like, egotistical conglomerate dude with the glasses that looked like he was straight out of Persona. I know his whole situation, and then him getting murked by Sextons. Then I don't know what happens to Sextons between that point and when she has the big cannon and we fight her. And then also her being all cloaked over and hanging out with cultists. I don't quite know those. And I gotta look back and see, because apparently there's quite a bit that was told. Teased together with Kuro. But she was already in Middle's event. Oh. Oh, right, yeah. She is, MDR is confirmed, right. I'm curious what she looks like. Or what she's going to look like. Because there have been more than one where, like, the CGs you first see are different from what the character looks like in-game. Good example is like Phelan, because Phelan's just like the whole jacket and everything. Actually, that's a pretty common thing, isn't it? Characters with like just closed off jackets, because Phelan had that, Sapo had that, but then their actual in-game like models are like way more intricate than just big jacket on top.
But now we know that Sextons just went inside the castle. Even though she did a lot of work for the conglomerate, she helped us greatly during her time with us aboard the Elmo.
This as well. What time aboard the Elmo?
Whether intentional or not.
Because she was kind of just... I thought she was just in stasis, basically. Kind of like Blue Sphere was supposed to be. Before we did a thing. And we went and put Blue Sphere somewhere else. What's more, she carries many of the leads I'm interested in. If we want to bring Sextons back with us, then the brutish, straightforward plan must obviously be thrown away. Stare unblinkingly at the nearby castle. Bathed in moonlight, its sky-piercing spires look unusually sharp. Stained glass windows leak faint hints of light through from this distance. Though from this distance it's impossible to tell whether any figures are moving about inside. Danger, don't. Commander... Melanie? Noticing that Melanie's awake, Rosa sets her down on the ground. Melanie rubs her eyes. When she realizes that she was dreaming, she stumbles over to me in unsteady steps. Commander... Had a nightmare. Yeah, but this time was a little different. Maybe it's because we're so close now. The scenes in my dream became much clearer. Well, what did you see this time? What's wrong? That powerful being I was sensing is changing. Commander, if we don't hurry, she'll be devoured. Devoured? Melanie, take it slow. What is going to be devoured? Melanie falls silent. Her body trembles and her thoughts too seem to be in disarray. I really want to keep pressing her, but seeing how frightened she is, I can't bring myself to make her relive the scary sights that plagued her dream. Still, based on what Melanie had sensed before, whatever appeared in her dream is almost certainly connected to this castle. Yeah, I gotta... Basically, I want to see all her other appearances that we do know of so far. As well as mentions of her. Basically, any point from Chapter 8 onward. Because, like, when she was an antagonist, I already know that. That's, like, easy remembering, because it's just... her with the one guy. And then that whole situation going on. And then she kills the one guy. Still, based on what Melanie had sensed before, whatever appeared in her dream is almost certainly connected to this castle. It looks like danger is closing in. The longer we sit here, the more likely it is for things to spiral out of control. I have to make my decision immediately, no matter the outcome. Commander,
And tourists just found records on a historical building in an offline database. It looks really similar to the castle in front of us. It was built in the 16th century, according to the records. Later requisitioned during the war between the NSU and the URNC, it became the private residence of a warlord after the war. Also, the castle was a protected historical landmark before this area became a red zone, so we have detailed restoration diagrams and info on its interior structures. I shared the info with the squads and uploaded them to each of your databases. They may be old, but they should still be of use. Terminal I'm holding quickly receives the images sent by Doris. Not only do they show the building's exterior and interior structures, they also show the room layouts and even the details on the piping. I quickly skimmed through the building's overall structure. It doesn't differ much from our own experience of the castle from earlier. But when I try to locate the hidden room that Nemesis led us to on the floor plan, all I see is a solid wall. So there are some discrepancies after all. Looks like a newer owner added it. But how did Nemesis know about it? Forget it, I'll ask her once we're back. Our priority is to get Sextons out, and if possible, find a way to destroy this Badeos base. The enemy may have anticipated my next move, but if I let something like that stop me, I would have died 10 years ago. Most dolls probably get some fast 2D art for their... Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. Last mention was Aphelion. I'll have to see if anyone has any sort... Now that this event is out, someone must end up writing up something or making a video on the lore or something. Maybe. We'll see. After some discussion, I decided to split the 3 squads I have into 2 action plans. First action plan would be used by Defy. 32 specializes in electric warfare will use the castle's blueprints to map the wiring and look for ways to exploit them. If only GFL was that popular. Hey, there's people who do some things, okay? And GFL2 has led to a lot more people involved in the franchise now. The first action plan would be used by Defy. You can't even confidently say, okay. Alright. Listen, okay? Listen. If I... Well, actually, there is someone who does it written, which is Ferrari. YZ Ferrari on Twitter. He's very well known in the community. He's also the reason of people making so many memes and jokes about Liu, like Liushi. I think it's Liushi? Liushi? Because he always had her as his profile picture and she was basically like his go-to even since the first game. But he does massive lore things, digging super deep for the lore. But it's all written up as Twitter posts and stuff. And I think he has a document about it as well. Which, now that I think of it, maybe I could try my hand at making a video. Like a lore style video. By using... like the Ferrari, like all the Ferraris, like Ferrari is basically like centrified database because his stuff is at least like it's all in one place. You can just go. How tall really is up? But like can actually go in and look at like the massive documents going over pretty much all the lore of every character. Maybe I could make something. Like starting off with small things, so like okay, here's just one character at a time kind of deal. Even though small is a relative term, because if we really think about it, that's like saying, oh yeah, let's go and figure out the lore of Florence, and then it's just like, oh yeah, you gotta include the stuff of how she was over in the United States in Maryland, and how she was in the Project Neurocloud, and you gotta go through the Project Neurocloud stuff, and then
how she was in the first game versus how she is now versus everything in between, and then this is so it's like there's always going to be a lot, even from the lesser, quote unquote, lesser important characters. Because I mean, it's been a long time. First action plan will be used by Defy. Variety, who specializes in electronic warfare, will use the castle's blueprints to map the wiring and look for ways to exploit them. The second action plan will be used by 404, who will be establishing defenses on the perimeter. They will coordinate with Pericha from the outside in working to take control of the enemy's electronic systems. I feel like I can't type right. I just want a NATO wife. NATO waifu. I always want to say NATO. I think it is NATO. Pretty sure it's NATO. I've always wondered if it's NATO, NITO. I think it's NATO, and I think the other thing, the Niters are Niters. I think that they actually are Niter. Hey, well, NYTO is NATO. Working to control the enemy's electronic systems. Most of the high-yield explosives have been given to 404. They'll begin setting up detonation points around the castle once we move inside and detonate them when necessary. As for Melanie, I tried to convince her to stay on the perimeter with 404, but she insisted on staying with me. I had no choice but to have Team Groza continue to guard her. Groza identifies a suitable infiltration route in the castle's blueprints. After synchronizing the data to the rest of the group, our two groups separate roughly a kilometer from the castle. Command to the route has been confirmed. No enemies detected at key positions. Same here on my end. Looks like it's time for me to shine. Commander, is there anything else you wish to tell us? Nope. Everyone, let's begin. First, assist Pericha in breaking through the castle's surveillance system, allowing her to begin seizing control of the enemy's electronic... something. Dang it. Tomato. Electronic... Electronic... Electronic something. Electronic lines. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it'll be easy. Oh, it's these guys. Meow. You know, it really helps for... Wait, how far did she reach? Oh, she almost reaches. I'll send you over there. Just do... You know, go here, do that. I never liked these. Just 'cause, like, I wish you could send them back down without having to be on them, you know? I should have just sent quick guy up there. Cyber warfare. Yeah, that's why the world is all this. You know, I never looked around here. Like, the environment. Level 2 looks different so many times. This is like level 2 specifically with electronic warfare. Because level 2 in other instances does not look anything like this. Oh wait, let me toss her down here. I could do something real funny actually. I think. Can I? Can I? Dang it, I can only do it partial. You want? I'll just do this. Infiltration complete. 404, you receiving the signal? You hacked into it already? Yes. Given the urgency, I used some unconventional methods. That's way too fast. Pardon?
Nothing. Doris, check whether we can connect to the signal. No problem there. The strong radiation is causing interference, but basic control of what's connected to the wiring should be possible. Miss Pericia, you really are impressive. You too. Just checked. Miss Pritchett seems to have cracked most of the castle's wiring. However, one area seems to have special encryption, so I can't see into it yet. I thought I'd already handled that area. Whispers avoid obstruction. Nurse suddenly speaks up to offer a hint. Hearing this, Pritchett quickly takes on an expression of understanding. Is that so? I knew it. Pritchett seems to do something complex on her end. The map transmitted by Andoris now finally has the last block of surveillance footage lit up. It's the castle's basement area. You know, this special kind of encryption method is... It's impressive that you know about it, Nemesis. Indeed, Nemesis has been showing a great deal of familiarity with this location ever since our earlier infiltration. And there were those dolls who looked just like Nemesis. Did Nemesis escape from this place, or... Now we have all our preparations done. But just to be safe, everyone please wait until you receive our confirmation signal before taking action. Understood. How's the situation outside? Things are going relatively smoothly so far. Majesty and Bioka are still confirming the reliability of the detonation points. Once they're done, we can begin placing the explosives. Thank you for your hard work. Save the pleasantries for another time. If you don't get out of there soon, Majesty might end up blowing you up to high heavens along with the castle. As a bee, she ends the call. Under Andora's guidance, we bypass the enemy surveillance and slip into the castle through a small window at the rear. As we move along the corridor, I gradually begin to think that the place somehow feels kind of off. Logically speaking, security should be tighter than usual since we had a huge fight here just a few hours ago. But aside from the few scattered low-tier marionette dolls whose Neuroclaws Bridget hacked and then burned out, we haven't encountered any enemies that could count as a real guard on our infiltration route. Of course, this was the outcome we hoped for when we chose this route. But now that things are actually playing out this smoothly, can't help but wonder if I've walked into a trap. Are you worried about something? Yeah, I just can't shake the feeling that something's not right. Any sign of Sexton's location? No good. Own radar sensors are still useless. Can you see her in the surveillance footage? One moment, let me have a look. Found her. Can you see the feed that I'm sharing? Doris projects the image over. There are several blurry figures in the video feed, although it's hard to see what they're doing. Two at the center are unmistakably Sextons in the girl we encountered earlier. Very clearly. This is... Based on the building's structural diagrams, this is the banquet hall located at the rear of the first floor. According to the layout, the kitchen is to the left, the dining hall is to the right, while the reception room we visited earlier is above. Below this banquet hall is a huge wine cellar. Wine cellar? If you wanted to go there from your position, you'd first have to pass through the corridor ahead, go through the storeroom, take the spiral staircase down, then go through the living room on the left side. That would be the safest route. Alright, got it. This is just like Castle Dimitrescu, you know? It's that convoluted to get to the wine cellar. There draws a path for me through the building's structural diagram. Covered most of the building during our earlier fighting, but we never actually went anywhere below the reception room. I'm about to study the castle's general map when I noticed movement in the surveillance footage. Aside from the girl and Sextons, the other dolls around them suddenly dropped to the floor in some kind of strange posture. Wait a minute. What are those dolls doing? Right, I think I've seen something like this before. So, back when Kofne encountered that Niter's purification ritual. Oh yeah, here's the event. Oh, and here's the... Yeah, okay, so this is the... Okay. That thought in mind, I do my best to zoom in on the image to check whether what I'm seeing matches what I suspect, but all I get are larger blocks of pixelated color. Can the picture be made any clearer? I'm sorry, Commander. The radiation interference is strong here. Data transmission can only be measured in kilobytes. If I push the bandwidth any further, I'm afraid I might actually crash. I see. And let's not. Take one last look at the route map, silently committing it to memory. Then I shut off my terminal, put it away, and chamber around my pistol. Since their opponent is connected to Paradeos, what they're doing is obvious enough. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they're up to. I have to see it for myself anyway. Alright. I'm gonna have to... probably have to stop there. It's about to be 8, and I want to try to get as much sleep as I can, considering I got up at 3. Not to mention, there's still some things I gotta do today. But yeah. Thank y'all for stopping by. Let me go ahead and... How much progress have... Okay, I'd say decent progress. I can do these real quick. But yeah. Did I do my daily tower? I need to do that. I have not been able to do that much recently, I'll be honest. I need to do that. Mainly because I don't have all the dolls maxed and like, you know, good equipment and everything, so a lot of it just ends up being very, well, I guess this works. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to maximize how many I can do per day, but then I don't even have the time to do it. All I know is that at this point I might as well just do a thing where I just have one really strong T-doll and then the rest are just fodder T-dolls. That sounds mean to say, but like... But then, like maybe that would work. I'd just have to wait until the next day and then get reset anyway, so. I have not made much progress at all on this. I need to actually do some stuff in here. Okay, level 40. Problem is just, like, I do not have the cores to be getting them any more upgrades than just, like, some simple stuff. Sorry. So yeah, there's that too. Yeah, exactly. Do you have to have a full team, by the way? Or can they just be, dang it. I was hoping I could just do, like, one. Okay, so let me check what I can do with, like, characters, like, low here. I also don't have enough golds going around. We can just, yeah, sure, here, have this. Have this. And I could just quick calibrate these just to give it a little bit more power. So how do the autos work? Like, how far are we talking with those?
and do like they just give you everything. But does it still give you like the potentials that you could have gotten from like bonuses and stuff like that? Well, not bonuses, from I guess I'll just do this. I mean, there's no reason not to just do this real quick. Okay, so you can do that. What about the like if you eat the food that gives you more food drops in Phase Clash, does it also work for that? I would hope it does. Because otherwise that means to do that food, you'd have to actually go in. Okay.
糖質補給する？気にそんなに見つめられると困るって。
Do we have any physical? You can't buff up before. Dang it. Should have known. Wish you could do batch calibrating. Like, select all of them and then calibrate. I only really use that one to get the foods because I wanna eventually be able to do the permanent buffs from the food. But for that, you need a lot of ingredients, and you need to make a lot of food. But yeah. Because I know it's something I'll eventually want to do. Okay.
敵のデータを
ちょっといやっはーびっくりしましたか指揮官。
Here, sure, have this. What would be best for you anyway? What if we do quick equip? Nah, that's not good. These just aren't that good. But like, I guess I could just give her Hydro and then just give her like health ones. Because I think she stacks with health. Sure. And of course I don't even have a gun for you. I guess I could just give you this one just to have it. I might as well just give her one of these. I'm contemplating whether or not to get Sexton's sword. I gotta hurry. Oh yeah, I'm like completely free to play Before, mainly because of lack of money. Now it's kind of just off of principle. I will equip that. Then... fire. Dang, okay. Wait, why am I doing fire? Hold on, there's literally a set for them. Where is it? Close assault, there we go. No, take off the fire boost. Just show me close assault. Sure. Just trying to get them like
呼びましたか？
to even have some bit of. Wait, is that only a level 1 gun? Why is that only level 1? It's a gold. I might as well max it.
これか。うん。
Let's see, fizz boost. Sure. Wait, does she scale off of defense? It's hard to tell. Because usually you look at the stuff and it's not like an easy tell unless you start digging into the skills. Okay, it inherits her skills in general, so it technically just scales off of whatever skill it is. Or stat, I mean. So it scales off of her attack for some of these. Alright, well, whatever. I don't need to go that deep into it. I just need to get to level 30 anyway. In 3 days. So... yeah, that's bad. Try to get as far as we can today. We'll go with the big unit and then... What do you mean not 3 days? Battle phase isn't... What do you mean? Let me see that. One day and... Well, looks like we're power leveling 11 stages. Okay, is this group strong enough? I doubt it, but they're level 40. Maybe, just maybe they're good enough. You know what? Let's actually replace one. With a cold there just to have a tiny bit of healing. Like, look how little damage they do. It's pain. We'll toss you over there.
だまだ現役だよ。
Yeah, do that, sure.
浅はかな行動を悔い改めなさい。
Yeah, that works. Ouch. That's just rude. That's just rude. That's just rude. That's just rude. Okay, we've killed one. Let's just do this again. That works. That works.
任せて。
The power of her... What's it called?
おやおや。
Who needs healing? What's this do? Removes debuffs. Yeah, here you go.
痛くない。痛くない。 やるぞ。
Okay, let's move Laney over here. Hit you guys. You might actually go there.
ちゃんと見ててね。
Alright. Do that.
気をつけて。
Now you do this.
浅はかな行動を悔い改めなさい。
That works. This is mean. Poor Laney. That was just rude.
殺して発見。治療装置準備完了。
How many could I hit with this? Not many. We're just not doing that much damage.
一層します。隙あり。
Gunsmoke didn't do it. Okay, you know what? No, hold on. Go back here. Do that.
ショータイム。バンバン。
There we go, that works. Force them to start pushing up. It sucks.
引っ張らないでよ。こっちを見なさい。浅はかな行動を悔い改めなさい。どいて。
There we go. And he's just so cute and I regret skipping it. She really is.
I do. I'll be honest. From a what's it called? From a storytelling standpoint, I do like the fact that she is not the original one. Doesn't make it feel as much of a cop out as it could have been. Alright, so this team clearly isn't strong enough. We need to replace. We just need to go with like one really strong character and then the rest being weak. Or not really strong, just even medium strength. It's like this area right here. Who has good AoE here? I mean, we can see how good our Feitusha is. Actually, wait. We have her. With her turret mode, works really well. But, Feplay's just not good enough for this. Like, we just need somebody who does good, decent damage. Okay, you know what? What if... Okay, we'll leave you there. Do this. And then we grab somebody here. Screw it, we'll just do this. A lot of them will die. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. All they're gonna keep doing is scratch damage, so... Also, her stuff seems bugged. Like the audio for it. Human wave tactics, yep. I should have given her a gun. Literally any gun, just to do more damage. And this is where we hit. With our capability to spam stuff. Our ability to do this. Good luck. Look at that. You don't see him doing any more purples. I think they will. It's just not gonna be... Like, there's so many characters that, I'll be honest, not really gonna get much out of. I mean, what's this do? Takes an added unit, applies priority progress. Dealing damage with an active attack, the inflictor applies one stack of antivirus purgatory. Okay, well, you know what? Sure. I'll give this to freaking. Here, you take this.
No. See, let's put her here so she can hit both of these. Actually,
ほらほらさてさて
just to get rid of more of them.
さてさて
No. Dang. There we go, this is everything. Now to just spam this one with every attack we can.
絶対にみんなを守ります治療と準備完了
Sure.
ごめんね自業自得 どいて
I don't even know how you hit that, Kofne. This is taking forever. This thing has so much HP. But we're also doing like no damage, so that also makes sense. I just gotta keep stacking damage on that thing. It's becoming annoying. Okay, that's good. At least the top one's gonna die soon.
私ですか ちょっと痛いかもです
Fair enough.
ごめんね うにゃうにゃ
I'm interested in seeing how things end up going with a lot of these games.
絶対にみんなを守ります治療と準備完了ほらほらさてさてほらほらさてさて
And then do that.
テンション上げてこ
It's almost dead. Please, just die. Just die. Alright, this team clearly isn't strong enough anyway.
さてさて
Regardless. Alright, we're doing the... I think we have at least 10 units that are, like, really strong. So we're doing that. Alright. We're keeping... Okay, we can't have you anymore. You're not strong enough. Here, let's have Sabrina. And... replace Kofne with... Actually, wait. Let's quickly slap in Sexton in here, so she's gonna be too weak for this. That gives us a free slot. Okay.
さて
Why is she doing so little damage? Why is her damage so... What? That's with her damage... Okay, this might have been a bad idea. Hold on. I remember I had Sabrina be able to actually do some damage. What is this? Can we... restart? I don't remember this one. Look at enemy defense. Oh, it's enemy defense, isn't it? Okay, yep. Well, if Sabrina's not gonna work, then... Okay, we definitely have like at least 10 dolls that are strong, like... I just want AoE just for the AoE, but you know what? Freaking... Here, but it's corrosion and ice. But how weak to corrosion and ice are they? Is the question. You know, freaking... Whatever, we're using clipping. I just want to get this done. Here, do this. Give it to Glukai, because I don't even know what this does, but maybe it does something good.
頑張るぞ
Blast you.
どうってことないわ
Alright, well, freaking... Wow, they're strong still. That's the case. No, no, they are very strong. They're like ridiculously strong. I should not have done this.
降参するなら今のうちよどうってことないわ
承知しました。
Sure.
逃げる気か。
Get her phase broken. I don't think this is gonna end well. We'll probably have to restart again. We might have to do a double, like 2 teams that are, or 2 units that are like somewhat strong for this.
誰も犠牲にはさせません
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is definitely not going well. Let's restart. Oh, they're level 50s. Okay, yeah, no, that explains. We're gonna do 2 units. We're going the route of 2 units. Okay, yeah, Papasha, you're gonna dip. You're out. I'm gonna bring in Suomi. Just to have some sustainability. It's not gonna be much in terms of damage still, but at least we'll live the initial fight. And we're immediately targeting these like ranged ones here.
了解 ご命令自業自得どうってことないわ
排除しますか後で掃除しておかなくては逃げる気か
どうってことないわ
Okay, and you.
ハンデをあげる
僕は
It's fine. It's fine. That's fine. That's still fine. Yeah, no, we might need a triple. This is bad. I hate the cloaked ones so much because you can't target them unless you have AoE, and I only have technically 1 AoE. Oh no. Yeah, no, these guys are level 50 and they're this powerful. It's insane. I gotta hit this one at least. Because the cloaked one is never mind, it's not cloaked anymore, but I don't care. Just perish, please. Okay. Ah, we got shocked. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Can she attack now? She still cannot attack. You know what? We're shielding you. Because I think this cleanses. No, it doesn't. Okay, well.
訓練の成果ね。
This is insane.
みんなのために。どうってことないわ。
Okay, only a few can hit me if I go there. Okay, so that kills. Yeah, that works.
ハンデをあげる。
Anything to at least do something. Oh. Oh, well, I'm dead. We're restarting. Before it technically kills me all. We're restarting, and we're trying that again, but... Dang it. We are replacing one of these with Basti, because Basti has a lot of AoE. No. This should work. Should work better. Okay, so first things first. Sextons, you have like no capability of anything, so you... Okay, hold on, let's see. One of these lets me do the other one. It's this and then the other one.
後で掃除しておかなくては。逃げる気か？
どうってことないわ。私ですか？
Give this to her.
頑張るぞ。
Never mind. Nope. Nope. We need her to at least do something. Putting her here worked. Yeah, let's do that.
みんなのために。どうってことないわ。ハンデをあげる。さてさて。
There we go.
テンション上げてこ
Make everything a nightmare for them. Just for existing here, they're gonna take damage, so that's good. Okay, so first things
も
first.
ちろん私ね
排除しますか
We lost Harpsy, but that is fine.
後で掃除しておかなくては
Passive models? Oh, you mean the
逃げ
like
る
her
さてさて
her like hiding spots?
訓練の成果ね
Okay, first off, we need to move Book over here.
さて
Yeah, they're really good.
戦うことは私の使命ですさてさてほらほらさてさて
Yeah, I did too. I thought that was always going to be the campsite, but then it was interesting to see that it wasn't.
さてさてもちろん私ね
排除しますか後で掃除しておかなくては逃げる気か
さてさてはい
Okay.
配置完了射撃準備さてさて
排除しますか
Do that.
ハンデを上げるさてさてほらほらさてさて
Do that.
ほらほらさてさて
Do that.
テンション上げてこ
Just can't do anything. That's a good sign.
訓練の成果ね
There we go.
ハンデを上げる
承知しました
訓練の成果ねはい
Hmm. Dang, she
排
can't
除
move.
しますか
Well, might as well do this.
後で掃除しておかなくては逃げる気か
さてさてほらほらさてさてほらほらさてさてその
Yeah, we just do that. Okay.
訓練の成果ね
Good guy. How much damage will you do? Okay, you know what? Yeah, kill her. Kill her, please. Get rid of this. 40,000 damage from that? What? How is she suddenly doing so much damage?
Confirm. That was only one floor too. You know what? I think I just gotta go with like at least half actual teams. Like, okay. Harpsy, we're no longer using you. Do we have anyone else that's corrosion that would be useful here? Fetuja, expenditure. Oh, wait. Hold on. Why? Oh, cause Basti. Okay. We're not gonna have Basti on here. Wait, that means I don't really necessarily need a... Okay, you know what? Okay. You know what we're doing?
みんなを守れるようになりたいです。
We're doing...
ごめんね。
Andoris... Leva... Nope. Lena. And that's basically a full electro team. We're not gonna be too crazy and think that, oh, Andoris is gonna be able to tank literally everything. But close enough.
これでいいかな。指示はいい感じ？
Hmm. Yeah, that works.
白クローの声だよ。白クロー、出番だよ。
Yeah, what is the health on these guys? 40. Okay, that explains so much.
後で掃除しておかなくては。逃げる気か？
指示は？はい。
Uh oh.
みんなのために。指示は？
Let's do that.
静かにして。
Keep forgetting, she really does have extremely strong sustain.
排除しますか？
Once again, just
後で
spam.
掃除しておかなくては。逃げる気か？
I don't know which guy. Okay, you know what? The Jord 2 is probably a stronger threat.
ごめんね。見つけた。
Yeah, we'll just cause more annoyances for them.
これでどうかな。どこを見てるんですか？ 戦うことは私の使命です。指示は？
Hmm. Yeah, let's do this.
痛かったら言ってね。指示は？配置完了。射撃準備。指示は？
排除しますか。
Once again, they're in perfect line for me to just
後
spam
で
this.
掃除しておかなくては。逃げる気か。
白カラーの声だよ。
I might as well get rid of enemies.
見つけた。命は大事にしないと。足元に気をつけて。ごめんね。
This one worked out a lot faster. Okay,
排除しますか。後で掃除しておかなくては。逃げる気か。
ごめんね。白カラーの声だよ。ごめんね。見つけた。はい、指揮官。これでいいかな。
do that.
静かにして。ごめんね。
Just stick a bomb on me?
排除しますか。
Please tell me I can kill that guy.
後で掃除しておかなくては。逃げる気か。
Okay, good.
ごめんね。白カラーの声だよ。配置完了。射撃準備。はい、指揮官。
I'm gonna surround this guy.
これでどうかな。
I'm gonna make him
これ
regret
でどうか
existing.
な。命は大事にしないと。いい感じ。白カラーの声だよ。静かにして。足元に気をつけて。
Why are we doing so little damage against him? We were doing so much damage earlier and now... Did a debuff? Does he have a buff? Bruh. What is this? It's literally just I take less damage just
掃除
because.
しておかなくては。逃げる気か。
そのどこを見てるんですか？
So I'm pretty much screwed with this event, right? I'm not gonna be able to do everything. I just need to add more damage.
ごめんね。足元に気をつけて。
排除しますか。後で掃除しておかなくては。
I just keep spamming
逃げる
this.
気か。
その
I don't know why this guy's so strong. Like, what is this? He wasn't this strong earlier.
ゲット。はい。配置完了。射撃準備。指示は？
Now, finally.
は大事にしないと。
I might just have to start spamming fire teams. This is pain. This is pain. I need to go. I can't stay up anymore. Maybe I just immediately hop onto doing this tomorrow. Cause I don't think a fire team alone is gonna be able to handle all of this. We'll see. Let's see how it goes.
I have to get up at 3 a.m. I have to go to work at 3 a.m.
We'll have to. We only. Okay, we're gonna have to do this tomorrow. Okay. Pain. Just pain. Yeah, I didn't realize this. I was always looking at the other number. I never noticed this, because I was constantly looking here. Ends in 3 days. Because it said Battle Phase Live. Ends in 3 days. So I thought that would be like the last thing. But no. Is it like... of course, spinning collapse pieces, which you gain 20. I don't even know how. What? How are people clearing this much when I'm struggling to clear these? When I even put in like mostly good units. Man, I'm mad. Pain. 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 These 6 units are pretty busted. Yeah. Clearly. Yeah, and I ain't got much of that except for like I don't. Oh wait, I don't even have her as this. I don't think I have any D6. Let's see. Well, there's Sabrina, but for some reason she does no damage, and I don't know why. Like, did I not give her any sort of? This is a weird attachment. I think I'd probably build her way better than I just noticed how bad that is. Yeah, I should probably make her just do Hydro. I don't know why she's such high this.
なんだか
ここに
僕の出番ですか？
Yeah, no, it's not a lot. I thought her attack was way higher than that.
ここに
I was sure her attack was way higher than this. This is garbage. Yeah, I think I need to just completely change her thing up. As for the rest, I don't know what happened. They just were super tanky. Like, one moment my units would be doing full damage normally, the next they're doing like 2k. Versus their like normally like 15 plus k attacks. Like even with Kuka, like
いいと
she was doing under 10k per thing when usually she would do more. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make that, and I'm disappointed. Alright, but anyway, I really gotta go. So, let's see if I can find someone to raid. I don't know how raiding works on, what's it called? On anything except Twitch, so it'll be on there. I'll see y'all at some point tomorrow, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and raid. Who's up currently? Tiff is up actually, playing Power World with GFL models. So I mean that counts, right? That counts as relevant. Why there's so many Veplis? Okay. Anyway, thank y'all for stopping by. I'm gonna go ahead and go. Very much appreciated with the resub as well, Blank. But yeah. Anyway, good night. See y'all. Peace. Bye.